Okay, good morning. Today I will discuss a topic that is the analysis performance of the wind energy and aerodynamics of wind. So, in the mechanism of aerodynamics of wind, the two main consideration that is the airfoil and aerodynamics theory. Because when the energy of wind maximum, then we obtain the maximum electricity. So axial momentum theory and blade momentum theory. One is the rotor design, another one is the rotor performance. Now aerodynamics of wind turbine. Aerodynamics deal with the motion of air or other gaseous fluid and the forces acting on bodies moving through them. During the course of wind turbine development, several efforts were made to understand and interpret the aerodynamics principle governing wind energy conversion and to apply them in the successful system design. Earlier, initiative in the direction relied more on the aviation industry. Aerodynamics theory, developed for airplanes and helicopters, were adopted for defining the performance of wind turbine. However, now theories are especially formulated for wind turbine, which are further refined and reinforced with the help of experimental techniques. So बेसिकली जो एरोडाइनमिक्स ऑफ विंड टर्बाइन का एप्लीकेशन है, हम लोग एरोडाइनमिक्स में दो फोर्स जानते हैं, एक ड्रैग फोर्स होता है और एक लिफ्ट फोर्स होता है। ड्रैग फोर्स जो है वो हमारा पैरेलल है और लिफ्ट फोर्स जो है हमारा वो परपेंडिकुलर है अकॉर्डिंग टू द डायरेक्शन ऑफ विंड। So here the airfoil basically the efficient energy extraction blade of modern wind turbine and made with airfoil section. The major features of such airfoil: the airfoil used for the earlier days wind turbine where the aviation airfoils under the National Advisory Committee of Aeronautics Series NACA specify the feature of the airfoils by numbers. This is a one blade of wind turbine and we study about the specific specification for the blade, that how the angle of the blade or angle of the attack of the wind, that the maximum thickness, maximum chamber, chord line, chamber line, super surface, trailing edge and lower surface. अगर हम देखें कि in a 4 digital specification the first number denotes the maximum camber of the airfoil at the chord line in the percentage. The second number gives the location of the point, that the maximum chamber from the leading edge in the 10th of the chord. जैसे कि फिगर में हमें दिख रहा है कि एयर जब हमारी ब्लेड्स के ऊपर आएगी तो एक अप्रोप्रिएट एंगल पे आएगी जिससे मैक्सिमम एयर जो है हमारी ब्लेड्स के ऊपर आए, and a maximum chapter of 2% located at 0.4 times the chord length from the leading edge, and the maximum thickness is 15% of the chord. The 5 digit specification of airfoil is similar, but information on the lift characteristic are also included in a 5 number NACA airfoil. The design lift coefficient in tenths is given by 1.5 of the first digit, one half of the distance from the leading third digit. The fourth and fifth digits are thickness of the airfoil. Thus, a series of airfoil will have a design lift coefficient 0.3. The maximum number of airfoil is 0.15 times the chord and its thickness is 12%. Blades with higher digit NACA numbers are also available. Now, come to the drag force and lift force. Drag force is horizontal to the x-axis and lift force is the vertical to the y-axis. The flow of direction of the air as shown in the air. As far as the requirements of a wind turbine are concerned, there is disadvantage for NACA specified airfoils. Poor in their strong characteristic, they are insensitive to wide variation in Reynolds number under which a wind machine is expected to work. They have low structural efficiency at the root region. These limitations called for the development of airfoils tailroad for wind turbine. Several research organizations like the Delft University of Technology, National Renewable Energy Laboratory and RISO National Laboratory are engaged in research and developments of airfoil exclusively for wind energy system. Now, when an airfoil is placed in a wind stream, air passes through both paper and lower surface of the blade. Due to the typical curvature of the blade, air passing over the upper side has to travel more distance per unit time than the passing through the lower side. Thus, the air particles at the upper layer move faster according to the Bernoulli's theorem. This should create a low pressure region at the top of the airfoil. This pressure difference between the upper and lower surface of the airfoil will result in a force F. The component of this force perpendicular to the direction of undistributed flow is called the lift force, and the force in the direction of the undistributed flow is called the drag force according to this figure. फिगर में हम देख सकते हैं कि फ्लो की डायरेक्शन जहाँ है उसी के पैरेलल, क्योंकि एयर का मूवमेंट जो है वन इज लिफ्ट फोर्स एंड अदर वन इज द ड्रैग फोर्स. नाउ कम टू दिस लिफ्ट फोर्स के लिए जो हम फॉर्मूला यूज में लाएंगे दैट इज सी एल हाफ रो ए वी स्क्वायर. इसका एनालिटिकल डेरिवेशन भी हमने किया था लिफ्ट फोर्स का, और ड्रैग फोर्स का डी इज इक्वल टू सी टी हाफ रो ए वी स्क्वायर, where CL and CT are the lift and drag force coefficient specifically. The angle between the undistributed wind direction and the chord of the airfoil is known as the angle of attack alpha. Lift and drag force experienced by an airfoil is influenced by alpha. The effect of angle of attack on this lift coefficient of an airfoil. At lower angle of attack, the lift force increases with alpha. The lift reaches its maximum at a certain alpha for an airfoil and then decreases rapidly with a further increase in alpha. This is because at high angles of attack, the airflow enters an excessively turbulent region and the boundary layers get separated from the airfoil. At this region, lift flow decreases and drag forces rapidly build up, resulting in the stall of blade. This is a figure that effect of angle attack of an airfoil lift and lift coefficient. The angle of attack alpha is the relative wind, leading edge, maximum thickness, maximum chamber, lower surface, trailing edge, upper surface, camber line, and chord line. This all shows in the figure. Now, aerodynamics theory. Aerodynamics theory जो है हमारी, this is due to difference theory are proposed to analyze the aerodynamics of wind turbine. These theories give an insight to the behavior of the rotor under varying operating conditions. Let us discuss some of the fundamental theories among the applicable to horizontal axis wind turbine. Axial momentum theory. This conventional analysis of the horizontal axis wind turbine originates from the axial momentum concept introduced by Rankine, which was further improved by Fiodes for marine propellers. Assumptions. The flow is assumed to be incompressible and homogeneous. The rotor is considered to be made up of infinite number of blades. The static pressure for in front of and behind the rotor are considered to be equal to the atmospheric pressure, and frictional drag over the blades that wake behind the rotor are neglected. तो एक्सियल एक्सिस विंड थ्योरी क्या कहती है कि मेन जो हमारा फ्लो है वो इनकम्प्रेसिबल और होमोजीनियस होना चाहिए. रोटर जो है उसमें कंसीडर्ड इनफाइनाइट नंबर ऑफ ब्लेड्स हैं. स्टैटिक प्रेशर इन फ्रंट एंड बिहाइंड द रोटर एंड कंसीडर्ड टू बी इक्वल टू द एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर. Frictional drag over the blades and wake behind the rotor are neglected. Now come to this. Consider that a wind turbine with rotor of area A placed in a wind stream as shown in figure. Let A and I dash be the areas of the section 1 1 and 2 2. एक हमने कोई एक्सियल स्टीम ट्यूब का मॉडल लिया है. इनलेट कंडीशन इज 1 1 and exit condition is 2 2. So the respective wind velocity at these sections as shown in the figure. Which is the velocity at the turbine section according to the law of conservation of mass. The mass of air flowing through these sections is equal to rho AB that is equal to rho AB, and this is the equation. Now, the thrust force experienced by the rotor is due to difference in the momentum of incoming and outgoing wind, which is given by F is equal to rho AB square minus rho A dash B dash square. A1 V1 is equal to ATV2 according to the principle of the continuity. ATVT from the thrust can be expressed as F is equal to rho AB V minus V dash. The thrust can also be represented as the pressure difference in the upstream and downstream side of the rotor. Let PU and PD be the pressure at the upstream and downstream side of the rotor respectively, hence F is equal to PU minus PD into AT. Applying the Bernoulli's equation at the sections and considering the assumptions that the static pressure at section 1,1 and 2,2 are equal to the atmospheric pressure P, we get P plus rho AB square by 2 is equal to PU plus rho A Vt square by 2. Again, aerodynamics, rotor design and rotor performance of the horizontal axis wind turbine. The P, we know that according to the Bernoulli's equation, the inlet conditions, all the energy, pressure energy, kinetic energy, and another is the exit section. We accumulate the total energy. So Pu minus Pd, that is equal to rho A V square minus V dash square by 2. Substituting the above equation, that F is equal to Pu minus Pv into At. F is equal to rho A At V square minus V dash square upon 2. Comparing these equations, we get F is equal to rho At Vt V minus V dash, where Vt is equal to V plus V dash upon 2. Now come to velocity of wind stream at the rotor section is the average of the velocity at its upstream and downstream side. At this stage, we introduce a parameter termed as the axial induction factor of our analysis. The axial induction factor indicates the degree with which the wind velocity at the upstream of the rotor is slowed down by the turbine. Thus, A is equal to V minus Vt upon V, where Vt is equal to V1 minus A and V dash is equal to V1 minus 2A. As we have seen earlier, the power imparted to the wind turbine is due to the transfer of kinetic energy from the air to the rotor. The mass flow through the rotor over a unit time is equal to M is equal to rho A V. Now, hence, the power developed by the turbine due to the transfer of kinetic energy, that energy is P is equal to half A rho A ATVT V square minus V dash square. Substituting the value of V dash, the value becomes Pt is equal to half rho A At V cube 4A into 1 minus A का होल स्क्वायर. तो जब भी हम लोग फॉर्मूला देखते हैं, जो Cp होता है कोफिशिएंट, that comparing the expression for the power coefficient and we put these values, Cp is equal to 2 Pt upon rho A At V cube, we can see that Cp is equal to 4A 1 minus A का whole square. For maximum Cp, dCp upon dA is equal to 0. Now the differentiating equation, equating it to 0 and solving, we get A is equal to 1 by 3. Substituting for equation, the maximum theoretical power coefficient of a horizontal axis wind turbine, that is 16 upon 27, and the maximum power produced is half rho A ATV cube 16 upon 27. This limit for the power coefficient is known as the base limit. It should be noted that several assumptions are involved in this analysis. Some of these may be questionable when we consider the real flow conditions around the wind turbine. For example, the practical rotor has finite number of blades and the aerodynamic drag and tips losses cannot be neglected. Further, the flow ahead and behind the rotor is not completely axial is assumed under the ideal condition. When the fluid applies torque to the rotor, as a reaction, rotation wake is generated behind the rotor as shown in figure, thus will cause energy loss and reduce the peak power coefficient. Now, considering the tangential flow behind the rotor, we introduce another factor termed as the tangential induction factor A in the analysis such that the rotation weight behind the rotor in the figure, we can see that the direction and r is the radius. Here, omega is the induced tangential angular velocity of flow and ohm is the angular velocity of the rotor. Consider an annual steam tube of thickness dr at a distance r from the rotor of the blade. As in the figure, area of this annular element is A is equal to 2 pi r dr. Hence, the thrust experienced by the annular element may be expressed as df is equal to 4a 1 minus a half rho a v square 2 pi r dr. Similarly, the torque on the annual element can be given by dt is equal to 4a 1 minus a 1 by 2 rho a v 2 pi r dr ohm r into r. Now, the power developed by the rotor is the product of the annual torque and angular velocity integrated over the total blade span. Thus, the power is given by P is equal to 0 to R ohm 4A 1 minus A 1 by 2 rho A V 2 pi R dr ohm R into R, and the power coefficient is given by Cp is equal to 2 upon rho A V cube 0 to R ohm 4A dash 1 minus A 1 by 2 rho A V 2 pi R dr ohm R into R. Now come to the blade element theory. In the blade element theory, was initially proposed by Frost and Taylor. In this approach, it is considered that the blades are made up of a number of strips arranged in the span-wise direction. The strips have infinitesimal thickness. These strips are aerodynamically independent and do not have any interference between them. Under this analysis, the lift and drag force acting over the strip and estimated integrated over the total blades span incorporating the velocities terms. To obtain the torque and power developed by the blade, this is further multiplied by the number of blades to build the total torque and power. The blade element theory gives us more understanding on the relationship between the aerofoil properties, thrust experiment by the rotor and the power produced by it. Now, the velocity and forces acting on an infinitesimally blade element as shown in figure, the undistributed wind velocity v is slowed down at 1 minus a v as it reaches the rotor. A velocity of r1 plus a is experienced by the element due to the rotation of the blade and the weight behind the rotor. Here a is the tangential and induction factor. W represent the result of these two velocity. Alpha is the angle of attack, phi is the flow angle and beta is the blade sink angle. An infinitesimally element of the rotor blade. This is the aerofoil. In this figure, we can see that the different angles alpha, beta, and these angles is shown according to the figure. Now, lift force on the infinitesimally airfoil section is given by dl is equal to half rho a c dr w square c l, where c is the airfoil chord, dr is the thickness of the section considered, and cl is the lift coefficient. Similarly, the element drag is given by dd is equal to half rho a cr dr w square cd, where cd is the drag coefficient. Now we can see that the thrust force and torque acting on the blade element are df is equal to dl cos phi plus dd sin phi. dt is equal to r dl sin phi minus dd cos phi, and consider the total number of blade to df is equal to half rho abc drw square dl cos phi plus dt sin phi. where dt is equal to half OA BC RdR W square C1 sin phi minus CD cos phi. On the geometry of the figure, here an infinitesimally element of the rotor plate AD and DL. This is the drag force, another one is the lift force. Alpha and beta is the angle. An infinitesimally element of the rotor plate sin phi is equal to V 1 minus A upon W and cos phi is equal to O R 1 plus A upon W. Similarly, W can be represented as the resultant of the velocities such that W is equal to V square 1 minus L A the whole square plus ohm square R square 1 plus A dash the whole square raised to the power 1 upon 2. The total torque developed by the rotor can be computed by integrating the element torque from the root to the tip of the blade. The rotor power is estimated by multiplying this torque by its angular velocity. Now, rotor design. The rotor design consideration, a wind energy conversion system is a complex process. The environmental conditions to which the turbine is exposed can be served and unpredictable. Structural dynamics, material science, and economics are to be applied to develop machines which are reliable, efficient, and cost effective. In this section, a simple procedure for an approximate design of a wind rotor is discussed. Based on the fundamental aerodynamics theory, following parameters are to be identified for such a design. Radius of the rotor R, number of blade D, tip speed ratio of the rotor, at design, lambda D, design lift coefficient of the aerofoil, and angle of attack of the aerofoil lift. Radius of the rotor. The radius of the rotor primarily depends on the power extracted from the turbine and the strength of the wind region in which it operates. Various losses involved in the energy conversion process are also to be considered. If the power expected from the turbine at its design point is known with the relationship Pt is equal to half CPT efficiency B, efficiency G, rho A, ATVG2, the radius of the rotor can be estimated as R is equal to 2 Pt upon CPT, efficiency D, eta G, rho A, pi Vg cube raised to the power 1 by 2, where CPT is the design power coefficient of the rotor, eta D is the drivetrain efficiency, eta G is the generator efficiency, and Vd is the design of wind velocity. For a well-designed system, the design power coefficient CPD may be in the range in between 0.4 to 0.45, and the combined efficiency of the drivetrain and generator may be taken as zero point 0.9. Now, if the design is to be based on the energy required for a specific application here, the rotor radius can be calculated by R is equal to under root 2 EA upon eta s rho A pi V cube m T, where eta is the overall system efficiency, dm is the mean wind velocity over a period, and T is the number of hours in all in that period. Tip speed ratio, design tip speed ratio depend on the application for which the turbine is being developed. For example, when we design the rotor for a wind pump which require high starting torque, low tip speed ratio is chosen. On the other hand, if our intention is to generate electricity, we require a fast running rotor and hence high tip speed ratio. The number of blades in a rotor is directly related to the design speed ratio. The higher the tip speed ratio, the lower would be the number of blades. Give a guideline for choosing the number of blades based on the design and tip speed ratio. This is the diagram that the curve, the number of blades and in between the tip speed ratio. जितना ज़्यादा हमारा ब्लेड होगा टिप स्पीड रेशियो हमारी उतनी ज़्यादा होगी. Angle of attack and corresponding lift coefficient. The angle of attack alpha and corresponding lift coefficient CLD are taken from the performance data of the aerofoil used in the design. The data on drag and lift coefficient at different angle of attack may be available for standard airfoil sections, as we would like to minimize the drag force and maximize the lift force. Corresponding minimum CD upon CL is to be identified. This can be obtained from a CD to CL curve of an airfoil by plotting a tangent to the curve from the origin as shown in figure. If such data are not readily available for the selected airfoil, the required momentum should be generated through wind tunnel experiment. Hello, 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 हाँ बताएं, हाँ गुड आफ्टरनून। हमने उनको व्हाट्सएप कर दिया, वो कमेंट लगा देंगे। अच्छा, हमने व्हाट्सएप अभी किया है, अभी नहीं, कल शाम में ही किया था। पुजेश और अरबाज का, दो बच्चे बार बार फ़ोन कर रहे थे, तो हम उनका आईडी पासवर्ड लेके नहीं होगा तो खुद ही कर देंगे, ठीक है। The required information should be generated through wind tunnel experiment. Once all these input parameters are identified, the design procedure involves computing the chord length C and blade setting angle beta at different section of the airfoil. C and beta of a blade section at a distance R from the center can be determined the following relationship. Lambda r is equal to lambda into r upon r, phi is equal to 2 by 3, tan inverse 1 upon lambda r, beta is equal to 5 minus alpha, and c is equal to 8 pi r upon b CLD 1 minus cos phi. This is the figure in between the CTCL relationship of an aerofoil. In this figure, you can see that the diagram line shown for the right force and left force. Now, example. We take an example related to the aerodynamics design consideration. This aerodynamics design consideration that the rotor for an aero generator to develop 100 watt at a wind speed of 7 meter per second and a CA 4412 airfoil will be used for the rotor. Let us take the design power coefficient is 0.4 and the combined drivetrain and generator efficiency 0.9. Taking the air density as 1.22 kilogram per meter cube, R is equal to this. Solve करेंगे, then this value is equal to 0.65 meter. As the application is to generate electricity, we prefer a low solidity rotor with minimum number of blades and working at high speed tip ratio. For aerodynamics and structural stability, a 3-blade rotor is considered. From figure 2.18, it is logical to take a design tip speed ratio of 5 for such rotors from the available performance data of NACA 4412 aerofoil. It is seen that minimum CT by CL is 0.01, is attained at an angle of 4 degree, and the corresponding lift coefficient is 0.8. The total blade length starting from 0.2 R to R is divided into 9 sections at an interval of 6.5 centimeter. The chord and blade setting angle at these sections are calculated using equation this. The result are given in table 2.1, profile of the design blade as shown in figure. This is the observation of the wind turbine tunnel test. When the rotor speed is 306, power will be 12.3, and For 6 meter per second velocity, rotor speed is 482, power will be 42.55. When the wind velocity will be 8 meter per second, then rotor speed 673 and power will be 100.4.12. Similarly, for increasing the rotor speed 306, 352, 397, 443, 489, 535. We calculate the powers, rotor speed, power, rotor speed and power. Now come to the analysis of the rotor performance. Once a wind turbine rotor is designed for a specific application, its performance characteristics are to be brought out before we fabricate the prototype. Dimensionally similar scaled down models of the proposed design are tested under the wind tunnels for this purpose. Low speed wind tunnels working at a very low Mach number are used for these experiments. Detail of such a tunnel used for testing a wind turbine as shown in figure. The actual wind conditions under which a wind turbines operate can be simulated inside the tunnel. Now, model wind turbine are to be tested is fixed at the throat or working sections. There are provisions to vary wind velocities as well as the load on the rotor shaft. A complete set of instrumentation which transducers and data loggers sense and record information like wind velocity, rotor torque and speed. The rotor is tested for different wind velocity and shaft load. The power speed and torque speed characteristic of the rotor and different wind velocities can be generated from the test result. This is further used to estimate the CP lambda relationship of the rotor. The starting behavior of the rotor can also be found out. Now, a wind turbine model of 1 meter diameter was tested in a wind tunnel. Test results are given. Table 2.3 generate the CP and the curve of the rotor. The flow of the wind, flow smoothness, rotor model, working section, a low speed wind tunnel, and the fan. Now, the observation of the wind tunnel text. These are the observation of the previous shown in the slide that when the wind speed is 4 meter per second, 6 meter per second, 8 meter per second, how much we obtain the power. We can see that from the data, when the speed will be high, the power will be more. Similarly, for 6 meter per second, simultaneously we can see that it is depend upon the rotor speed and power. So we make a relation between the power and wind speed. The power speed curve of the rotor at 4 meter per second, at 6 meter per second, at 8 meter per second are shown in figure. The power coefficient of the model rotor can be estimated from the relationship Cp is equal to 8p pi rho a d square v to the tip speed ratio may be calculated as pi t and b lambda and the corresponding Cp for the rotor at different wind velocities and loads are calculating using the above expression. Now, the curve in between the power and power speed curves of the rotor, we can see that power and speed ratio, when the velocity will be low, the speed will be low. The Cp lambda curve of the rotor, power coefficient and speed ratio, the relationship in between the Cp and lambda, all the wind velocity converges to a single curve. This non-dimensional relationship can represent the performance of any dimensionally similar loop, irrespective its size. Okay, thank you.